Good morning, my brothers. Today's January 9th. I've got my little study partner over here. She's studying. She doesn't look like she's studying, but she's studying. She's always out here in the morning whenever I'm doing my study and keeping me company. It's January 9th. So we turn to Proverbs chapter 9 for God's daily dose of wisdom. And chapter 9 is an interesting chapter. There's a contrast between wisdom and folly in an interesting way. Solomon personifies them as women. And in verses 1 through 6, we're going to read about wisdom. And then later at the end of the chapter, verses 13 through 18, we're going to read about folly, and we're going to contrast those two. It's kind of interesting. Verses 1 through 9 go like this. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She's prepared her food. She's mixed her wine. She's also set her table. She has sent out her maidens. She calls from the tops of the heights of the city, "Whoever is naive, let him turn in here." To him who lacks understanding, she says, "Come, eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake your folly and live, and proceed in the way of understanding." Now we contrast that with the woman of folly. And that's found in verses 13 through 18. Listen to these verses. The woman of folly is boisterous. She is naive and knows nothing. She sits at the doorway of her house, on a seat by the high places of the city, calling to those who pass by, who are making their paths straight. Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. And to him who lacks understanding, she says, stolen water is sweet, and bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But he does not know that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of Sheol. Pretty interesting contrast. There's some similarities. She's sitting at the doorway of her house, and she's calling to those who pass by. In fact, the words that she uses are the very same words as the woman of wisdom. Woman of folly says, "Whoever is naive, let him turn in here." And the woman of wisdom says, "Whoever is naive, let him turn in here." The woman of folly says, to him who lacks understanding, stolen water is sweet. I don't know if this is showing up for you or not. I don't know how I did that. So she says, whoever lacks understanding, she says something as well. And the woman of wisdom says, to him who lacks understanding. So there's some very interesting similarities, but there's also some very interesting differences. First difference, wisdom prepares. She has built her house. She's hewn out her 7 pillars. She's prepared her food. She's mixed her wine. She's set her table. She's sent out her maidens. The woman of folly did none of that. She didn't prepare at all. She's just going with the flow, as it were. She's more a representation of the natural person, the natural individual, someone who isn't controlled by the Word of God or the Spirit of God. They're controlled by their own impulses and their own foolishness. But the woman of wisdom prepares. But she doesn't prepare in such a way that makes it a drudgery. No, not at all. She prepares, and she's prepared her food, she's mixed her wine, she's set her table, and she's even sent out maidens. She calls from the tops of the heights of the city, "Whoever is naive, let him turn in here. Come, eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed." So becoming wise, or going to school and learning the things of wisdom, are not something that is drudgery or troublesome or wearisome. No, not at all. Come eat of my food and drink of the wine I have mixed. I don't know about you, but that sounds more like a party than a classroom. Obtaining wisdom and obtaining understanding and obtaining knowledge, the way that God desires for us to obtain those things, is not a drearisome thing. It's not something that has to be tedious and tiresome. It can be an exciting adventure where the Lord begins to unveil himself and loose the scales from our eyes so that we can have that understanding that he so desires for us to have. It can be fun. It can be an adventure. And I truly believe that that's what's being displayed here in Proverbs chapter 9, is that the person who simply goes with the flow and does what is natural is going to tend towards his fallen side. And he's not going to prepare. He's not going to do the kinds of things necessary in order to become wise. But the person who makes the decision to turn into the house of wisdom is going to be a part of something that is a whole lot of fun, an adventure. And my prayer is that we would have that kind of an attitude of receiving that adventure from the Lord, receiving the excitement of having God reveal himself to us on an ongoing, daily basis. That's what the book of Proverbs is all about, as he reveals himself through these words. So, my brothers, I pray that you go out and you make a difference in someone's life today. I pray that you join in as a part of this great adventure that the Lord wants us to be on, as he reveals himself to us and as he reveals our purpose in his plan to be the hands and feet of Jesus. It's an exciting, fun adventure. God bless you.